Hello and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News on this Friday, January 30th. I'm Grant Olson. Here's some of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. Moses Lake police say they've arrested 3 people after serving a search warrant linked to an ongoing drug and firearms investigation. An event to raise awareness for missing people around the country will be held at Pybus Public Market next week. Expect patchy fog and partly cloudy skies over the next couple of days. Your full local weather forecast is coming up. Chelan County authorities say they've located the body of a Leavenworth man missing in the Blewett Pass area since Friday night. Sheriff's Emergency Management Coordinator Sergeant Jason Reinfeld said the body of 33-year-old David Gimlett was found Thursday in Peshastin Creek by a Chelan County volunteer search and rescue team member. Gimlett was last seen January 23rd in the 3200 block of Hansel Lane in Peshastin and left the area on foot. He was reported missing the following day, but his cell phone was inactive and could not be traced. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office had been looking for Gimlett by helicopter, ground teams, and drone search since his disappearance. His family was notified of his death on Thursday. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies and partner agencies were involved in a dramatic winter rope rescue earlier this month. On January 3rd, about 10:15 p.m., they found a vehicle abandoned about 4 miles up Icicle Road outside Leavenworth, which had earlier been involved in a non-injury crash. The driver had apparently clambered down the road toward the Icicle River, where he fell into the icy water and became stuck between some rocks. One deputy was lowered down the slope using a rope line tied to a patrol vehicle bumper and helped the driver free himself and climb back to safety. The rescue was recorded on police body cam. The man was treated at Cascade Medical Center for hypothermia. Authorities say without such quick intervention, the incident might have turned deadly. Moses Lake police say they've arrested 3 people after serving a search warrant linked to an ongoing drug and firearms investigation. The agency's street crimes unit entered a home on Cathy Drive about 6 a.m. yesterday morning. There, they allegedly found an undisclosed amount of cocaine along with 9 firearms. 2 Moses Lake men, 35-year-old Sergio Giron and 24-year-old Alberto Mendoza, were jailed on suspicion of drug possession with intent to deliver. A third person, a 53-year-old woman, was released but may face unrelated fraud charges. The case remains under investigation. Volunteers Thursday morning traveled throughout Chelan and Douglas counties to take a census of the state of homelessness. The point-in-time count is organized by Chelan County with assistance and cooperation from numerous local nonprofits. Communities are required to carry out such counts by the state and U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Last year, 104 people voluntarily reported being unsheltered in the 2-county area. Madison Calloway, Chelan County's homeless program supervisor, said volunteers encountered fewer people this year who agreed to be surveyed. The 2026 results will be available sometime at the end of February. When we come back, construction on the new Cashmere Public Library at the Riverside Center is beginning early, and the Chelan County Sheriff's Office will no longer accept cash or check payments for concealed pistol licenses and DUI cost recovery fees. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Somewhere behind these doors is a family member, often alone, taking care of a loved one with Alzheimer's or some other disability, or providing care for a loved one who is not ill but only aging and no longer able to care for themselves. In the field of caregiving, this is the Homefront. For the home is where most Americans will live out their last days. Contact Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington for a variety of services, including caregiving, meals, and medication help.
NCWLIFE Channel is your local TV station. We believe in being the spotlight and mirror to the communities we serve in North Central Washington. Programming on NCWLIFE would not be possible without our sponsors. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor, Alpine Air. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCWLIFE. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCWLIFE channel.
An event to raise awareness for missing people around the country will be held at Pybus Public Market next week. National Missing Persons Day is held annually on February 3rd and highlights the need for public assistance in locating missing adults and children. The local event is organized by Denise McBurney, the mother of Travis Coleman, a Wenatchee man who walked away from his home in 2023 and is presumed dead. The day is meant to put attention on missing people, supporting their families, and keeping search cases active and in the public eye. At Pybus, information will be available for families on what to do if a loved one goes missing. The Wenatchee Police Department will be on hand to answer questions. Construction on the new Cashmere Public Library at the Riverside Center is beginning early. After construction was initially set to start in mid-2026, North Central Washington Libraries announced on Thursday that it's starting this month and hopes to move the library into the new space by late summer or sooner. Updates to the Riverside Center will include 3 new meeting rooms of various sizes and uses, new paint, carpet, and updated furniture and shelving. There will be no interruptions to library services during construction as the Cashmere Library continues to operate out of its current location on Woodring Street. There will be a temporary closure once construction is complete for staff to move materials and services into the new space. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office will no longer accept cash or check payments for concealed pistol licenses and DUI cost recovery fees. Moving forward, the department says it will only accept payment by debit or credit card. The Sheriff's Office says accepting cash or checks requires additional staff time and resources for processing, tracking, and issuing refunds. Transitioning to electronic payment should help streamline these processes. The change, which goes into effect on February 9th, also applies to all new concealed weapon applications, including renewal and replacement licenses. Coming up next, the city of Leavenworth has come out in favor of a bill that would allow cities to tax short-term rental bookings in much the same way they tax hotel rooms. We'll have more on that in tonight's feature story. Unseasonably warm temperatures are on the way, with highs around 50 degrees expected next week. I'll have your local weather details coming up, along with Eric Granstrom with all things sports, including the Seahawks' preparation for the Super Bowl, as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues after these messages.
Your favorite local channel is now available for free on your smart TV and connected streaming devices. Watch live programming and catch up with the latest shows on demand. See the local stories that matter to you. NCWLIFE, now on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV.
Join NCWLIFE Channel Sports Director Eric Granstrom for daily reports on the Seahawks as they prepare for Super Bowl 60. Eric will give you the inside scoop as the Hawks try to win their second Lombardi Trophy. Coverage is brought to you by Harvest Valley Pest Control, Doghouse Motorsports, Dragoo Financial, and Latimer Chiropractic. Follow the Seahawks with Eric Grandstrom on the NCW Life channel.
The city of Leavenworth has come out in favor of a bill that would allow cities to tax short-term rental bookings in much the same way they tax hotel rooms. House Bill 2559 would allow cities and counties to impose up to a 4% tax on short-term rentals and apply the revenue toward affordable housing programs. Mayor Carl Flory advocated for the bill last week in a House Finance Committee hearing, along with Leavenworth City Council member Zeke Reister. STR managers who testified took the opposite view.
This does allow us to cooperatively work with our county, and the county is very much in favor of this as well. And there are hundreds of them outside of our short little Leavenworth that are in the county, but they're still part of our community. So yes, it would generate those funds, and we would work with our county. They know our need to be able to provide housing for Leavenworth. And whether it's I only control what's in my city limits, but that's my community's greater than that. And so helping us to get housing in the Upper Valley would help us get our workforce housing. You did pass this out, very similar to this last year. We just couldn't get it over the line. We need to get it over the line. Leavenworth is losing its community, literally losing it, because we're so popular for second homes. We cannot afford to have a workforce live there. This bill, and you talk about a nexus, there's no stronger nexus than the fact that every one of these short-term rentals could be, and many of them have been, permanent housing. And now, because of the popularity, they're used as second homes, and it takes away stock from ours. Asking them to help us replace that with a first home that can be for our workforce is what this is about. And if we don't get a significant tool to begin to address it, we're going to lose the community completely. So thank you for passing it out last year. Help us get it over the finish line this year, and help us to stop the hemorrhaging that's taking place in our community.
The impact of STRs on our housing stock is significant. There is a true nexus between the presence of STRs, the lack of affordable housing in Leavenworth. I would like to remind you that in Chelan County, 37% of the STRs are owned by residents, whereas 63% of the STRs in Chelan County are owned by non-residents. So it's truly a need to protect the locals. In Chelan, this tax is applied only to STRs where the owner is not present. This tax, these STRs we're talking about, the ones that are homeowner occupied, are exempt from this tax.
The February 2025 Congressional Research Service report on short-term rental markets makes clear that the housing impacts differ from locality to locality based on supply, demand, land use constraints, and the regulatory environment. The CRS report also discusses potential economic benefits of STRs, including impacts on tourism and local employment. I bring up the CRS report to underscore that the research is mixed and it's not clear statewide solutions would be effective. One statewide solution that could be impactful would be a smaller tax on all lodging types. A broad-based approach would avoid singling out one segment and reduce incentives to shift demand between lodging options. HB 2559 is well-intended, but it has unintended consequences, some of which could harm Washington's guests, hosts, and the hospitality service workers who potentially need housing relief the most.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you ended your work week on a high note. Boy, weather-wise, we had a little bit of everything. Good rain shower activity last night, a lot of fog this morning, and then some clearing skies by mid to late afternoon today. Just a bit of blue sky, and you can see the sun peeking out across the Wenatchee Valley as we look outside our weather window from our Wenatchee Heights tower camera. It turned out to be a pretty nice day, fairly warm out there. And those conditions will continue. We will see another couple of days of probably some patchy fog in the morning with some sun peeking out by the afternoons. That's for both Friday and Saturday. And we will definitely see some mild temperatures, and just wait until you see some of our high temperatures from Sunday into next week. Pretty impressive, and we'll get there in a second. Pretty impressive today, too. 5 degrees above where we should be for our high temperature today. 42, 37 is normal, but we were way below our record high, and boy, 58 degrees, and that was set in 1989. 34 this morning, very mild, 9 degrees above where we should be. 25 is our normal low, 12 below our record low, and that was set in 1996. We picked up 1/10 of an inch from those rain showers last night, and that now gets us to 35 hundredths for the year, which is about 6/10 below where we should be for this time of year. Sunrise 7:29, and look at that, sunset this afternoon right at 5 o'clock. We're getting there, folks. The darkness going away. All right, as we get you into Saturday and the all-important weekend, temperatures tomorrow a lot like today, maybe just a little bit warmer, definitely warmer in the Columbia Basin. Moses Lake and Ephrata at 46 in Quincy, and then 42s from Wenatchee into Entiat, also Chelan and Omak. Leavenworth, your high temperature tomorrow, and even 40 degrees, which, remember, still above normal for this time of year. As we get you into tonight, cloudy skies out there. Large area of low pressure is trying to push on shore, but this blocking area of high pressure is still in place, and it's not letting it through. A few clouds will make it through tonight. We'll see low temperatures mainly in the mid-30s. As we kick off your weekend, some patchy fog in the morning with partly cloudy skies in the afternoon tomorrow, and just a nice day with high temperatures in the low 40s. For your Sunday, a small trough of low pressure in Montana. You can see the associated area of low pressure will bring some clouds through with it, and maybe, just maybe, a slight chance for showers on Sunday. It's going to warm up too, mid-40s by Sunday afternoon. And for your Monday, high pressure not going anywhere. We will see mostly cloudy skies, but look at that strong southerly and southwesterly flow. That will allow our temperatures to climb into the mid and even upper 40s for Monday. On Tuesday, some high clouds out there. High pressure not going anywhere. It's going to just warm up throughout next week. We will see mid to upper 40s for high temperatures on Tuesday. And then as we get you into midweek Wednesday of next week, we'll see high clouds once again. There is that ridge still firmly in place over the western U.S. Look at that. High temperatures Wednesday near 50 degrees. And I think we'll do even a little better than that as we get you into Thursday. Once again, lots of sunshine out there. Nothing is able to move on shore. We will be unseasonably warm with that strong southwesterly flow. We're talking high temperatures Thursday afternoon, 50, maybe even low 50s on Thursday. 7-day forecast now, and it's brought to you by Colonial Vista Senior Living in Wenatchee, where comfort, care, and community come together. 35 overnight tonight, a little fog and some clouds in the afternoon, a lot like today for Saturday. High temperature 42 degrees, slight chance, and I mean slight chance for a rain shower on Sunday, a little warmer and 45. And this is where the warm-up begins as we get you into Monday, mostly cloudy and 47. And then for Tuesday and Wednesday, just some high clouds out there. We'll climb all the way to 49 on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, mostly sunny, and look at that, high temperature 50 degrees. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
It's time for special Seahawks Super Bowl coverage right here on the NCWLIFE channel. Today's report brought to you by Harvest Valley Pest Control, Doghouse Motorsports, Dragoo Financial, and Latimer Chiropractic. And now, here's our own sports director, Eric Granstrom.
While the Seahawks fans are celebrating the fourth trip to the Super Bowl in franchise history, it's important to recognize the architect who built this team. John Schneider was hired by Seattle in 2010 as Pete Carroll was named head coach. Schneider and Carroll combined to completely turn over a roster that had been built by Mike Holmgren. Within 4 years, Seattle was back in the Super Bowl for a second time, winning convincingly over Denver. Following the 2024 season, Schneider and the front office moved away from Geno Smith, DK Metcalf, and offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb, bringing in Clint Kubiak, Cooper Kupp, and Sam Darnold. Schneider says Darnold was everything he was billed to be.
Yeah, everything that, Clint had talked about, Kevin Hall, all the guys that, we had done our research with, just the person, the competitor, the way he treats his teammates, the leader. He hasn't flinched. It's kind of like I think we were all more panicked, than what was going on than he was. He was kind of like looking at us like we had three heads. He's like, what's everybody so worried about? Yeah. So he's like, I'll be good. So I haven't seen a lot of quarterbacks not throw a ball and then go out and play like that. And we've been blessed to be around some pretty damn good ones.
Following the departure of Pete Carroll in 2023, Schneider hired Mike Macdonald to take over the reins. In 2 short seasons, Macdonald has the Seahawks back in the Super Bowl. Schneider says it was easy to see Macdonald was his man for the job.
With Mike, it was, like the clarity of and I'm sure you guys know this speaking with him, it's like this really clear, thoughtful, intense, intelligent messaging. And then it's when you sit down with somebody, it's like, okay, how can I see myself partnering up with this person? And we did it in the same manner like that Pete and I did. It's like, all right, can we sit down and be like simpatico and are we gonna be able to work through our ugly times together? Because there's gonna be a lot of them. And that was what was very clear about Mike, and exceeded expectations. I think that's hard to gauge because you're so into the moment every single day. It's hard. We don't. It's like the man in the arena thing. You step back. We're not able to step back like everybody else is, and it's just you're just constantly going.
As Monday dawns in Santa Clara, the Seahawks will be in the Bay Area setting sights on the Patriots and Super Bowl 60. We'll have more on the Seahawks preparations on our next report. The Seattle Kraken finished up a successful homestand with a winning note last night. Shane Wright scored twice as the Kraken downed the visiting Toronto Maple Leafs 5-2. Seattle will head for Vegas tomorrow to begin the first of 3 road games before the NHL takes a break for the Winter Olympics. Well, Northwest men's college basketball teams came up a little bit short last night. Eastern Washington fell to Northern Arizona 92-86, while Washington dropped a 75-66 decision to Illinois. Eastern travels to Northern Arizona tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Washington State hosts Portland at 3. Washington visits Northwestern. That'll be at 5 on the Big Ten Network. 6th-ranked Gonzaga hosts St. Mary's. That'll be tomorrow night, 6:30 on ESPN. Eastern Washington women were more successful against Northern Arizona, winning 93-87. Santa Clara dumped Washington State 102-71. Gonzaga overcame San Francisco in overtime 74-66. Northern Colorado visits Eastern tomorrow at 2, while Washington State hosts Gonzaga at 7. 25th-ranked Washington hosts Illinois Sunday at 3 o'clock. That'll be on FS1. The Wenatchee Wild begin a weekend road trip in Portland tonight. Wild and Winterhawks drop the puck at 7 o'clock tonight. Wenatchee visits Tri-City tomorrow night at 6:05. You can follow the action with Austin Drowdy on 560 KPQ. Well, Eastmont was able to sweep Wenatchee in Big 9 wrestling last night at Wenatchee High School. The Wildcat girls emerged victorious 42-18 as they traded pins with the Panthers. Eastmont boys were able to overcome a couple early forfeits with 5 Wildcats able to record pins. In other action last night, Okanagan beat Cashmere. The Quincy boys and girls posted wins over Prosser. Ephrata boys and girls were winners over East Valley. And a double duel at Omak, the Pioneers edged Cascade 36-24, but then fell to Chelan 63-18. There were some prep basketball games played across the region last night, kind of a warm-up for the weekend. On the girls' side, Royal downed Cashmere 49-31. Brewster topped Omak 60-47. Antioch eased by Easton 62-40. Moses Lake Christian was a winner, more than doubled up Wilson Creek, in fact. And Waterville Mansfield raced by Republic 63-34. Shockers are hosting Yakima Tribal today. Eastmont is home against Davis. Moses Lake plays at West Valley. Ephrata visits Ellensburg, while Quincy plays at East Valley. Bridgeport hosts Chelan at 6, while Cascades at Tenasket. Lake Roosevelt hosts Liberty Bell. Manson visits Okanagan. Soap Lake welcomes Antioch, and Wilson Creek plays at Oroville. Girls Big 9 basketball will be the first of 2 offerings tonight here on the NCWLIFE channel. Grant Olson will be courtside as the Eastmont Wildcats host the Davis Pirates. Tip time on our Facebook feed for the first game at 5:30. Boys will follow on the stream and the TV at 7 o'clock. On the boys' side last night, Royal edged Cashmere 69-66. Brewster beat Omak 63-33. Thornton stopped Patera 60-43. And Moses Lake Christian crushed Wilson Creek 66-40 for the boys tonight. Moses Lake Christian hosts Inchelium at 6. Eastmont at Davis tip it up at 7 o'clock, while Moses Lake visits West Valley. Ellensburg hosts Ephrata, and Quincy travels to East Valley. 7:30 games have Liberty Bell at Lake Roosevelt. Bridgeport hosts Chelan. Cascade travels to Tenasket. Okanagan hosts Manson. Wilson Creek visits Oroville, and Antioch is on the road at Soap Lake. The much less crowded schedule tomorrow finds Wapato at Cashmere at 3:45. Waterville Mansfield hosts Oroville at 4. Ike visits Moses Lake at 4:30, while Wenatchee's on the road at Sunnyside. For the boys' schedule, very much the same, just later start times. Wapato visiting Cashmere. Waterville Mansfield hosting Oroville. Moses Lake welcomes Eisenhower, and Wenatchee's on the road at Sunnyside. That's Check of Sports News. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a great weekend.
And that will do it for this Friday edition of the NCWLIFE Evening News. Remember, if you see news happening, let us know. Email your news tips to news@ncwlife.com or just give us a call at 888-6295. If you're watching us on cable, you should know that our channel is also available on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for being with us, and have a great weekend.